Hey everyone, how's it going? So we've got a bit different of a video today. So you may or may not have realized this, but arena points have actually not been reset yet. They are getting reset on the 23rd, I believe. So maybe by the time you're watching this, they already have been. But at the time I'm recording it, they have not been yet. And I'm just going to be giving some advice that, in my opinion, I think will be pretty helpful for this new season. Because competitive is going to be a lot different, I feel like. And look, I am by no means a very good competitive player. I am nothing like those crazy people you see play FNCS every season, which might make it even better because hopefully it'll be a bit more relatable or realistic for you. So if this helped you, make sure to leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe for more. So my first tip is probably the biggest tip that I have, and the one that I find most helpful, is to be consistent. That means landing at the same spot, going through the same paths every time you're looting, and making sure that you know how to rotate from that place to wherever the zone could end up. Doesn't matter if you have 0 arena points, if you've got 4,000 arena points, you're going to want to have that consistent spot that you are comfortable with, because when you're going into a tournament, competitive, maybe it's just more arena games, it's going to feel really good to know what you're doing to start things off. Because you can't predict what other people can do, but you can know what you want to do. Also, make sure that your drop spot plays to your strengths. For example, last season I landed at Stealthy Stronghold. It's up there in the corner of the map. It's kind of away from everyone because I like to get as much loot, as much match as you can see right here in this clip before I get into a bunch of different fights. I just want to feel like I'm as prepared as possible. If you're a more aggressive player and you feel really strong off the start, you could land somewhere like here at Lazy Lake, or maybe Bony Burbs as it's called now, play a bit more aggressive early on, and just make sure that you play to your strength. Which brings us to tip number 2, which is going to be to use those early matches to figure those strengths out. Because maybe you don't know how good you are in competitive events, so maybe you don't know where you want to land. Use those early matches to figure it out before you start losing arena points with each match, or else you're going to end up like me, because right here I've got 3,800 points, and I believe some point last season I had about 4,500, but I wasn't playing consistently. I was doing something different each time, and it was kind of just messing me up mentally. Which brings me to tip number 3, which is confidence. I can't tell you how many times I'll be playing arena and I'll just play super scared. I won't want to fight anyone, and honestly it just backfires because I'll be trying to avoid them, and it just makes me an easier target because I won't be building, I won't be shooting. I'll try and like sneak away. I won't be actually trying to play relatively aggressive, and so many players can play aggressive, they just use your unaggressiveness to their advantage. On a related note to that is when I'm playing creative, I'll play super confidently, and honestly, it really shows in your abilities, because whenever I'm playing confident, I feel great. But when I'm like, oh no, this is arena, if I don't do well, I'm gonna end up losing 40 points, I don't know. 9 times out of 10, I just completely mess up. So, play with confidence. Up next is something a bit more related to this season, as you can see here, I'm collecting those mechanical parts, and along with that is use the guns that you are comfortable with. For me, I am definitely the most comfortable, at least right now, with the mechanical weapons. I feel like they're the most accurate. They're the ones I've used the most as well, so maybe as we get further into the season, I'll get more used to these primal ones and the makeshift ones, like that primal shotgun. If you can use it well, it is really good. So play to your strengths when you're choosing what inventory to carry. Next up, right here, I'm just getting the elim, which kind of goes with sneak attacks. It's kind of fun, sounds funny, but if you play, like, I don't want to say sneaky, but if you can get around people without them noticing you and just surprise them with a quick beam, you're in a lot better position to get that elim. Up next is fish, which is kind of a random thing, but they're definitely worth carrying. There's so many different fish now. You could use spicy fish to rotate quicker. You could use stink fish to get people out of a box. You could just carry floppers, which is what I'm going to end up doing to get those white heels later on. There's hot floppers to make you not take fall damage. There's so many different ways to use them. So use them to your advantage if you can, and make sure you know that they're out there. Because I feel like a lot of people would just not go fishing. But fishing can make a huge difference, especially in towards the end game when everyone's boxed up or everyone's low on health. You can make such good plays if you have some fish with you. Along with fishing, you're going to want to have as good of loot as possible, which, I don't know. I feel like that one's kind of obvious, get as good a loot as possible, but also, especially with crafting now, you can just craft whatever you want. So if you can get it, get it. Get that purple pump, as you're about to see here, get that purple P90. It'll just make things a bit easier, maybe give you a bit of an advantage over people who don't have that loot. Over here, I'm about to get in a fight. Just laser this guy, third partying. I know people don't like third partying, but it works. It really works sometimes, okay? So don't be afraid to do it. Third party all day long. Also, when you deal a bit of damage, sometimes I'll just take a step back. But if you get a good amount of damage, just rush him right away, like I did that guy. I saw he was white, so I just went for it, because why not? Now, I didn't need any of this loot because I'm stacked, as you can see. So I just covered up. Don't want anyone else getting their hands on some of that. Here I am using a chicken to rotate, because why not? I mean, hey, if it's out there and you can find a way to use it, use it. Like this bush. I know bush camping is kind of a meme, but it works. I don't like to use a ton of mats, but again, use those materials. I would much rather die because I ran out of materials than die because I didn't place a wall when I should have. So if you have 1,500 builds, use those 1,500 builds. Don't be afraid to use them. I can't tell you how many times I go around farming for a whole game and just end up headshot sniped because I wasn't building when I was running around the map. And along with running around the map is when you're rotating at the end, rotate smartly. I'm going around the edge here because I'm not that aggressive. I'm also picking up that brick that I just used because you never know how much materials you're going to actually need. So if you can get a little more, and try and use it to your advantage. Next up is when you're right here at the very end, be looking everywhere for angles. Like that guy, he just went and opened a supply drop and I just did a quick beam on him. I don't get the finish just yet, so stick around for that. But then I see there's this guy all the way back here in the storm, so I get a couple shots off on him. You might not get the finish, but you're going to deal a bit more damage that'll hopefully put you in a better position than them later into the match. Also, go for high ground. Right there I had high ground. I got knocked out, so I took a bit of fall damage, but it makes a huge difference, makes things a lot easier if you're not that good at rotating, which I'm going to be honest, if you're watching this, you can probably tell that I'm not. There's that guy over there, and then someone ends up on top of me, but I just get the kill, honestly. I don't have anything to say for that, but I got lucky. And then this guy, he did a good job of looking back into the zone, trying to pick up a bit of damage, hopefully get a couple kills in there too. Didn't work out for him, so I guess that's good for me. And then I'm sticking up here on height. I'm using those floppers I picked up earlier. Just running into the zone. Don't feel forced to fight sometimes. Keep moving, get in there. See, like right here, I could have just tried to shoot him, which I did, but I missed. And then I stay back for a second. I take a bunch of storm damage, which, hey, it worked though, because look, he's not going to know that I'm all the way back there. So I get that 57, and then I just one pump him in the face for the victory royale. I hope some of that advice was helpful. If you have any questions, leave a comment, and have an amazing day.